Alright, what's up y'all? Woolie here. And today we're going to talk about um, EOG spam. We're going to be doing this on Sorcery. I'm getting ready to switch powers, and I'm going to be going controller. So before I did that, I wanted to go ahead and put out a loadout for EOG spam with Sorcery. So EOG is Eye of Gemini. If you ever see people shouting, it's Eye of Gemini. So I'll show you the artifacts really quickly. So we're going to be using Scrap, we're going to be using Eye of Gemini, and then I'm running Quizlet. The reason why, you can put something else here, but when you have Quizlet maxed out, you get that 1% supercharge back. So very beneficial. In the meantime, we're going to be using Scrap, which increases your maximum supercharge and supercharge generation. Mine's at 160, so we get a 27% cooldown. And then I have Gemini, of course. So specifically, we're going to be running the DPS. So while in combat, using a supercharge will attract Pollux's gaze, depending on your role, with the duration of 6 seconds. So we'll have that circle up for 6 seconds. If you look at the damage or controller roll down at the bottom here, when Pollux's gaze expires, you deal 20% of all damage dealt by players standing within Pollux's gaze to all nearby enemies. Restores 2% power every second. Standing in any Pollux's gaze grants you 0% might, precision, and vitalization. So you do want to have it a little bit higher to get that 5%. But in the meantime, you still get the 3% across the board stat. So a lot of DPS do not like to stand in the orange circle. I think that's pretty well known. So one of the hacks that I call it is to get them to come into your circle, drop your supply drop, and then pop your supercharge. They're more likely to run into it and deal out a little bit of damage, right? But anyways, this loadout is just to show you how to spam. So we are going to be running two different versions of this. I'm going to show you what I'm running here, which is just speed drain, so we can keep the Eye of Gemini going. It's a 2,500 cost, which means my bar does not have to be very filled. You know, just a quarter of the way, we can pop it, and by the time it expires, it comes off cooldown, you're ready to go again, right? So we are going to be running Robot Sidekick here in place of Fury because we don't want offering. What we want is Karmic Suspension. Now, the way the loadout would actually go is, the rotation is you would hit Transmutation, drop a PI. Transmutation also hits very nice. You could also put Soul Siphon in its place. It's really your preference. So either one of these is fine. Just one thing to note is Soul Siphon pulls adds to you. Transmutation knocks them back. So for this case, we want to go ahead and use Transmutation. Then we would go into Karmic Suspension. The really important thing is that it does deal more damage once you hit Transmutation first, because it is more likely to crit and deal more damage. But the main reason as to why we are using Karmic Suspension here is, if you read it, it says dealing damage while restoring supercharge. Now you can go through and look at all of these powers here, and none of them will say that. So I'll show you what I mean. Just watch the bar. It's a good little jump right off the back. It is a good jump. Just, that's exactly why we use it, okay? So as far as the damage, it's really going to be these three right here. Like I said, these are the hardest hitting powers. You could do a single target with Vengeance and just kind of spam that, and then Final Ruin, and lay down Circle of Destruction if you want. But for all intents and purposes, this is what I'm using here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rotation. So we are going to be doing EOG spam, so I'm going to show you what it's like with Eye of Gemini, because you are still going to be doing more damage with it. So basically when Karmic Suspension comes off cooldown, you want to use it. Now the numbers may not look like they're all that, but it does perform really well for what you're working with. I think the numbers are fine for what we're running. I'm using Brawling right now as my weapon, so you may be seeing the white numbers come off of it, and that's just because I'm clipping out of it. Like, I hit Brawling right there and you really didn't even notice, so just one thing to note, you do not need to do the animation to get your blast adapter off. Alright, now, let me go ahead and hit that one more time. Okay, so that's the main loadout that you'll be using throughout most content, right? I'm going to show you the one that you would use in a raid setting if you had like a healer or a tank that's spamming Eye of Gemini in the green circle and giving you back a lot of supercharge. So we'll switch to that. So you'll notice that we are going to be running Neo Venom and Speed Drain. Okay, so again, the actual rotation is going to be Transmutation, Karmic, and there you go. So let's take a look at it. We're going to wait for Neo Venom again. If you had somebody spamming Eye of Gemini in a green circle, you would have already had it. So you would have been using it. Alright, so anyways, that's pretty much it. There's not much more to it. It's very straightforward. So, again, if you have somebody spamming Eye of Gemini that's a healer or a tank, this is the loadout you would run. If you don't, then you're just going to run with Speed Drain. Because that way you can just keep popping off Eye of Gemini. So while you lose Neo Venom, you're still getting a buff from Eye of Gemini, so you're still going to be hitting pretty nice. You'll get by just fine. You're not going to have any problems, and you'll stay on the boards. That's pretty much it. So we'll look at the actual tech mods here. So of course we got Blast Adapter. We are going to be running Neo Venom. Grant 5% supercharge back in the headpiece. We are going to be running Escalating Might in the neck. We are going to be running whatever you want to run in the back. There's not really much that I could find that would fit this loadout. So I just put Breakout Regeneration, gain health regeneration for 4 seconds after using the Breakout ability. So we are going to be using the Extended Supercharge ability in the chest. One thing to note is when you max out scrap here, you can see it restores 7% max supercharge after using a supercharge ability. This does not stack with the extended supercharge tactical mod. So if you have your scrap at 200, at that point I would go ahead and change that tac mod to something else. Until then, this will get you by just fine. You get that 5% back, but that 7% is obviously going to be far more beneficial than a 5%. And seeing that they don't stack, it would be best to switch that out to whatever you're running, precision or might. So core strength or penetrating strikes. So core strength in this case. Now legs, since we are going to be using the karmic, we would go ahead and put that in, get a little bit of healing. We are running tumbling master in the feet, and then we are going to be running max damage in the hands. Alright, now that's pretty much it. Like I said, the build is very straightforward. It's just a way for us to continuously spam Eye of Gemini while we can. So we got two ways to do it. One, if we're running solo. One, if we have somebody spamming Eye of Gemini, that's a healer or a tank. So there's two variations of it. You don't have to have a second armory for that. The only thing you really need to do is be spec'd into both of those, so that way if you get a second and you're not in combat and you know they're going to be spamming like that, then you can just go ahead and adjust the loadout accordingly. It takes like 1 second, so not a big deal. So that's pretty much it. Allies or whatever you really want to use. I'm running crypto for that high single target DPS. I'm running Cyborg for the passive power back, and I just haven't changed Batman Who Laughs. I still use them. I just haven't been investing in the allies. So whatever ally you want to put there, by all means. And then of course you want your might augment since we're running all might. Okay, so that's pretty much it, guys. It's very straightforward. Just another way for us to play sorcery. It's not very different from the other loadouts that I did use. Now you can run Final Ruin, which is what I was testing, or you can run Robot Sidekick. It really doesn't matter. You're just going to hit those single target looking numbers when you run Final Ruin. So in some cases it is very beneficial. I like to have Robot Sidekick on though, just for that constant damage, free damage. But Final Ruin works very well as well. Alright, anyways, we're going to stop there. That's all I got for you today, guys. So if you're new to the channel, consider sticking around. Maybe drop a comment. Maybe drop a like. Maybe drop a sub. If you are a returning viewer, as always, I appreciate it, guys. I will catch you next time. And of course, if you guys didn't know, we do have a community Discord. I've been pinning it in the comments and the descriptions. I'm not a big channel, so I don't expect a whole lot of people to join, but it is a Discord that I made for us to, you know, come in there and just kick it, chill as a community, as a DC community, ask some questions, start some conversations, just, you know, just a Discord channel. So anyways, guys, I'll catch you next time. Woolie out.